Oh howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. When the unique item Kitava's Hunger was spoiled for patch 3.22, my first thought was to be fairly dismissive of this item, mostly because a lot of the best items in the game have life mods on them, and as a result, if you're using Kitava's Hunger, you're then locked out of effectively using a number of those items. However, there's a few things in the game that actually do have a life-related bonus to your character that are not considered life mods. And I think it's worthwhile taking a second look at this now that I've gone through a list of some of the things you might want to use alongside it and had a look to see what is actually tagged as a life mod and what is just something that might indirectly interact with life but is not considered to be a life mod by the game. Remember, even one item that has a life mod on it is going to completely ruin Kitava's Hunger's utility for you. The Eternity Shrouds set a precedent that items that are jewels or that are flasks do not actually count as an equipped item. So let's have a quick look at some of the items you might consider using with this. Firstly, let's mention the expensive elephant in the room, Mageblood. Mageblood has a line of text on it, 25 to 35 strength, that in normal gameplay will increase your character's life. However, it is not considered to be a life mod, it is considered to be an attribute mod, and there are no life modifiers on Mageblood. So if you're lucky enough to be able to afford Mageblood, you can definitely use it in conjunction with Kitava's Hunger, and these two things will work quite well together because one of the other items that's really good with Kitava's Hunger rewards a massive armor pool, and the best way in the game to get a massive armor pool is Mageblood. The second item that works really well in conjunction with Kitava's Hunger is Aegis Aurora. Aegis Aurora has a lot of defense tagged mods on it, energy shield tagged mods on it, resist tagged mods on it, but nothing in there is life related at all. And this is a spectacularly good shield. I think there's a strong case to be made that it is the best shield in the game at the moment. And it is definitely something you may wish to consider using alongside running Kitava's Hunger. If your character can get all the life that it needs from its chest piece, then there's more space to stack both armor and energy shield on other items in order to make Aegis Aurora even better. Now, if you are using Aegis Aurora, the game is going to reward you for getting a lot of extra energy shield on your character, as well as getting a lot of extra armor on your character. And one that you really want to consider is Replica Soul Tether. This is a lot cheaper, obviously, than Mageblood, and it has the text gain 4 to 6% of maximum life as extra maximum energy shield, as well as Corrupted Soul, which will cause you to gain another 15% of your maximum life as extra maximum energy shield. This might sound like these are both life mods. However, that is not the case. If we have a look at the tags that are recorded in game, we have an attribute tag on the strength, we then have a defenses and energy shield tag on each of the other two mods, a chaos tag on the Corrupted Soul, but we do not have a life mod on it. Unfortunately though, whilst you can use Replica Soul Tether, the reasonably similar item Burden of Truth that drops from Cyrus, Awakener of Worlds, is not an option. Burden of Truth has the text 30 to 40% increased life recovery from Flasks, and this is a life mod. Another item that you might be thinking of that does not work in conjunction with Kitava's Hunger is Mahuxotl's Machination. The reason for this is that this grants the keystone Eternal Youth. And if you have a look at the list of tags for the item, you'll find that Eternal Youth is a life tagged mod. Therefore, equipping Mahuxotl's Machination will unfortunately turn off your Kitava's Hunger. How do I think you want to go about using Kitava's Hunger on a build? I think your goal is going to be to have Kitava's Hunger in your chest slot, Replica Soul Tether in your belt slot, unless and until you ever reach the point that you can afford a Mageblood. You definitely want Aegis Aurora on a build like this, and if you are lucky enough to own a Mageblood, then you can get your Corrupted Soul from Glorious Vanity, the Timeless Jewel. You then want to be using Determination in order to massively increase your armor pool. Potentially also you want to use Grace and Iron Reflexes, that's going to depend where you are on the passive tree. And then most of the rest of your gear is going to be rare items that are crafted on either pure armor bases or on hybrid armor energy shield bases. Both of these can work, and the exact balance is going to be up to you. One of your key advantages is that you will be able to roll dense fossils, and dense fossils will ban any mod that could roll on these item slots that has additional life rolls on it. The other option is going to be getting items that Rog creates that just happen not to have life on them. In my experience with Rog, he seems to put life on items a little bit more often than you might otherwise expect, but not so often that it's always there. And Rog will sometimes create an item that a lot of people are dismissive of because it's not what their character needs. It's got lots of good stats on it, all high tier rolls, but there's no life roll on it. Those items then become perfect for someone that is using Kitava's Hunger. You then have the defensive benefits of Corrupted Soul, which are providing you a fair amount of extra energy shield. And then it is Divine Shield that brings all of the disparate pieces together. This is going to cause you to gain a considerable amount of energy shield recovery, especially alongside Aegis Aurora. You are still going to be losing some life as well as energy shield when you hit. You're going to need to have some sort of in-combat life recovery. Kitava's Hungers recover 3% of your life when you kill a monster, is useful for mapping, but it's not going to help you when you're fighting either a map boss or some unusually tanky rare. Life Leech is a really good option, but it may not work for your build. If that's the case, there's plenty of other options available too. Ultimately, the way you handle life recovery is going to vary depending upon the skill you're using. It will be a problem you'll need to solve, but the combination of Aegis Aurora, Kitava's Hunger, and Replica Soul Tether alongside Divine Shield will provide you with a large hybrid life and energy shield pool, as well as ways to regenerate the energy shield efficiently. Ultimately, this isn't a build, this is a defensive package. It's something you can fit onto a fair number of different builds, and it's going to take a bit of trial and error to work out whether this is superior to, inferior to, or just different to some of the existing ways that people manage their defenses these days. That's all I've got on this. May your Val Orbs have interesting results, and I will see you around.